and welcome to Believe in Your Shelf, the official podcast of Muskegon Area District Library. My name is Jen. I'm a youth services librarian, and I'm interested in discovering all that Muskegon has to offer. Things like library resources, recommendations, and so much more. So let's dive in. All right, let's talk about humans. Welcome back to the podcast, my friends. You have both been on the podcast before, both for humans, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we got Philip. Hello, Philip.
Hi.
We got Holly. Hello, Holly.
Hello.
Welcome back. Year 2 of humans. Quick recap. What's humans?
So, humans, the human library started in Denmark in 2000. Had this guy that had this great idea to invite people to be books, like actually come in and have people check them out, with the goal of unjudging someone. So a book is like a person who has volunteered to represent a stigmatized group in the community, and based on their personal experiences, they can answer questions from other people in the community. So it's really a walk a mile in someone else's shoes, see how they live, and kind of have that human experience with other people.
It was your idea at first, right, Philip? You were like looking for it and you found the grant, or did I just totally make that up?
We were fighting over that because we had two separate ideas that came together.
Pretty much,
that's awesome though. That's great. I mean, so you did it last year. What did you do last year for this?
Well, you wanted to do the human library, and I wanted to do a oral history project. So we combined the two, and we did taped videos of the interviews last year, and then we did a live event here at Norton Shores.
So obviously, with the first year, there's always, bumps and opportunities learned. And what did you take away from last year that you put into this year that makes it different?
First of all, do not schedule your live event on the same day as the Michigan State-Michigan game.
Oh.
That kind of affected turnout just a little bit.
For sure.
It actually went pretty smoothly last year.
It went pretty smoothly. Though this year we do have a couple community partners we're working with.
Oh, cool.
MCC as well as Hackley.
Nice. So what are you doing, like the recorded videos again? You're doing the same thing again this year?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
We're officially enrolled with the Human Library Organization. We've already recorded interviews. Susan Harrison Wolfis was fortunate she was able to come back and help with those interviews quite a bit. She's pretty awesome. And we have a live event scheduled. We've partnered with Muskegon Community College, but our first one is going to be at the Eggleston branch.
Oh, cool.
And for people that don't know where our Eggleston branch is, it's out on Apple Avenue, almost to Wolf Lake Road, right where their township offices are located. So it's at 5428 East Apple Avenue. And, of course, we had to pick a library branch that had enough space to house 15 books plus all the people that are going to come see these books. And Eggleston is a pretty big branch and a really pretty branch. So
Yeah, they just got an update pretty recently, relatively recently, and it's really nice. If you want to hear about the Eggleston branch more, you can listen to the episode about it. Tell me more about how you are incorporating these community partners. Like last year, it was just Maddle, and now this year, what role do Hackley and MCC have in this?
So Muskegon Community College is actually going to do their own event. Last year, Diana Casey, who's a professor at MCC, was one of our books.
Oh, cool.
This year, we're doing our event first on Saturday, February 17th from 10 to 1, and they are doing their event on Wednesday, April 3rd in the Gerber Lounge from 10 to 1.
Oh,
so they're actually holding their own event this year, and then they were heavily involved in the book recruiting process this year, which is putting the word out to their students and getting interest that way. And then Hackley.
This is when I give you information on Hackley's.
So they are just partners in getting the word out and helping with the recruiting process.
Yeah, and they're kind of taking a peek inside of what's all about, and maybe next year they'll do a third reading, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Live event.
Live event. Okay, I was like, there's got to be a nicer way to put a reading. No, probably not. Speaking of recruits and people who are participating this year, can you tell us what we've got on deck? What are we going to see this year?
Well, they go by, we call them Pillars of Prejudice, which is something the Human Library kind of created as to what they fall under. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. Some of the pillars of prejudice include religion, say if someone's Muslim, Hindu, an atheist, a rabbi, ethnicity, white, black, Asian, indigenous, etc. If they're a victim of, say, abuse, stalking, etc. Different lifestyles, genders, disabilities.
So this year we've got like a couple that's gay, married, and Christian. We have a participant that's going to talk about life in a wheelchair. Another one that's life post-incarceration. A veteran of 2 wars. Surviving sexual assault. One that's Hispanic in higher education. One that's going to talk about how to stay sane while living black.
Hispanic in higher education. Surviving family secrets.
Ooh, that sounds juicy.
There's also a lady that talks about living beyond her cancer diagnosis. Gentleman that's going to talk about being Jewish in Muskegon. Guy that had 3 moms growing up.
Whoa.
Another one that's out in the business world, a lady that is a professional that has tattoos, that has experienced quite a few negative things because of that. So it's all over the place.
Yeah, that's
Like,
quite a
we let the
spectrum.
stories come to us. We don't go out like saying, we need this person to fit this pillar.
Sure.
We have that whole application process where they just apply, and then we go through the whole process of getting their backstory and seeing if they'd be a good fit.
So when you say, like, these partners help recruit, you mean more so like they put out the idea, they put out the application, not so much they literally like cherry picked people, right? Is that what you're saying? Okay,
Yes.
That makes sense. So that's exciting to look forward to.
I mean, as a public library, obviously we reach many people in the communities we serve, but being partnered with Muskegon Community College and Hackley, we've been able to reach some populations we haven't perhaps reached before.
Since this is only a 1-day event, 2-day event, technically, if we're talking about the MCC event in April as well, what if you can't come? Like, are you doing the videos again, like the circulating TVs again?
So we are not doing circulating TVs because that was, people want to come and get their books. They don't want to sit down in the library and watch TV. But we are very active on social media this year. Starting last Wednesday, we released the trailer on the Maddle Facebook page, so that's Muskegon Area District Library. And every week, we're releasing a couple of these videos. So you can watch the videos on our Facebook page and on our regular website. You can also watch the videos from last year.
Oh, cool.
It's madl.org/humans. And then you just click on archive, and then you can also view the videos from this year.
Nice. Do you have any duplicates from last year? Do you have any of the same books as last year? I mean, like literally. Like, are there any of the same people?
We actually do not. We have a full batch of different people this
Oh,
time.
nice. Because I mean, like, maybe they're the same title, quote unquote, but they are obviously each person has their own unique story. So maybe they have the same title, but
Yeah.
different humans, if you will.
Yeah, there's a little bit of overlap on subjects and what, their life experiences, but
Definitely.
everyone is unique for sure. And we have a whole different batch of books, people
Nice.
this time.
Awesome.
And we really encourage people to come to the live event because it is something you will not normally experience anywhere else. It's also really encouraging last year to see teachers send their students here to kind of have those experiences with different people. Our bookmobile librarian, tattooed biker librarian was his title, very popular last year with the kiddos.
For sure.
We had people that planned to come, teachers that sent their students. We had people that just walked in our branches like, what's going on? And ended up hopping to 5 or 6 different tables while they were here.
Cool.
Philip's mom came.
Yeah. Yeah, she really enjoyed it.
Is there like a pre-approved list of questions that you can ask the book? Like, is there any sort of like parameters or guidelines people should know going into it?
So there's not really pre-approved questions. The only thing that we ask is that you return the books in the same condition they were checked out, just like in the library, which means you're not coming here to confront these people.
Mm-hmm.
You're coming here to have a shared learning experience. So we ask that people not be derogatory in any way, and be respectful. Other than that, we let the books kind of guide the conversation as to what they are comfortable with and what they're not comfortable with.
Anything that we're looking forward to next year already, or is that too soon to tell? Is this going to be an annual thing now?
It probably is going to be an annual thing. We kind of changed the timing a little bit this year. Last year was in the fall. This year it's in kind of the winter. Part of that is because we're doing so much with our NEA Big Read in the fall that we want to be able to give our full attention to this.
Sure, definitely.
So it had kind of had to move a little bit, but we hadn't even started thinking about next year.
Okay, yeah, that's a little preemptive.
But I mean, if being a book in our library is something that you're interested in, then I mean, come into the library and talk to a librarian about it so they can get your information, and then we can reach out when we're ready to recruit next year.
Or, just come to the event and see what it's like to be a book, and that way you get the experience, and if you're like, cool, this is definitely what I want to do, then that's even better.
And I think one thing we didn't talk about, we kind of did last year, was these books do get training from us. They get training from us, and they get training from the Human Library in Denmark. So they go through this whole process about what it means to be a book.
Okay.
And how to handle conversations, and just like what the whole process is like.
Okay.
So it's not like if people sign up to be one of our books, we're just like sit down and then we leave you out there flapping. We do go over everything. So it's as secure and safe as we can possibly make it for everyone involved.
Sure. Like, what is the training entail?
Well, obviously these are sensitive conversations, and we want to be as supportive to our books and our readers as possible.
So we go over, there's like a lot involved in that training. Like I said, like we give them a tour where they're going to be set up so they can get comfortable with the space. When we have the event, we have a different room set aside, so if it gets too overwhelming, they can we can take them out of circulation and they can come, de-stress before they go back in. We have an undisclosed way of them signaling a staff member in case they run into an issue and they need to be extricated from that situation. And then it's just like common questions people might ask you, or how to redirect if you're not comfortable with that.
Okay.
Or like how to get the conversation going if you have somebody sit down, but you've got that awkward silence going on. So it covers pretty much everything.
That sounds extensive. I like it. So do you, this is like a really random out of left field. Do you think you guys will ever be able to go to Denmark and like see it in real life? Is it still going on in Denmark?
Yes. Pretty much if you're going to use the Human Library logo, trademark, you have to go through them. It's a $249 fee.
That's very oddly specific.
Yeah, well, that used to be $49. They upped it because they do such extensive training now.
Okay,
But it includes all that in there. All of our books will go through training with them, and all of the organizers already went through training with them. They also have funding for groups that have no money.
Sure.
So if you don't have $249, you can still do an event.
Awesome.
But yeah, these conversations are going on all over the world still. I mean, they like really blew up.
That's incredible.
And you can go on their website and look at like book titles from all over the world.
Are they viewable?
Yes.
Like online? That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah, it's a really great system, really.
But that doesn't answer my question. Who's going to go to Denmark and see it in real life?
I mean, whoever's going to pay for me to go.
That's part of it.
We do volunteer as tribute if anyone that's holding the purse strings is listening. Philip and I will fly to Denmark and meet these people in person.
Yeah, let's go.
Would either of you consider being books in the future?
I don't know if I'd be a book.
What about you, Philip? Would you ever consider being a book?
I don't know. I don't think I really have much of a story to tell.
Everybody has a story.
Everybody has a story.
Everyone has some type of story. I'll agree with that. But there's many people out there, like our books, who have real stories to tell.
Oh, don't discount yourself. I'm sure your life is vivid and rich and full of interesting things to tell.
We all have great lives to tell.
So what I'm hearing is Philip is going to be a book next year.
I mean, I could spend 15 minutes just listening to Norman the cat stories.
I can come up with a lot of cat stories. Norman's quite a cat.
Dad. That can be your book title, Cat Dad. All right. You heard it here first.
Get your application in. You know where to find it.
Well, thank you, both of you, for joining me. And hopefully we can do this again next year and talk about how it has grown from the second to the third year. Deal?
Sure.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
See you then. Thanks.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others and post about it on social media. To catch all the latest from us, you can follow Madeline on Instagram at Muskegon ADL and on Facebook at Muskegon Area District Library. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Believe in Your Shelf.